So in this video, we're going to talk about the Pocket 3. We're going to talk about what it's like to use. We're going to show you some examples of the footage, sort of its weaknesses, pros and cons, accessories you should think about buying. This is going to be kind of a longer video, so if you want to skip through the chapters below, you can do. This one I bought myself. There are other products that I get sent, but I will always give you my honest opinion about them and if they're worth buying or not, because at the end of the day, you're spending your hard-earned money on this. I'll never tell you, I'll lie. If it's good, it's good. If it's crap, it's crap. I will tell you. So, Pocket 3, it's good. On the most part, it's a good camera. There are some things I don't like about it. There are some accessories that you will have to buy to get the best out of it. So yeah, let's touch on that. First thing is, I tried to do some research and getting the specs and getting everything right for you. I found something about minimum focus distance being 0.2 meters, like 20 centimeters, and I've found that I can get a lot closer and get something in focus, even about 9 centimeters to a subject, and keep it in focus. So I'm not sure what that's about. It's a big 1-inch sensor. We know you get that f2.0, which gives you a nice out of focus background. The out of focus background, it looks, I mean, it looks okay. For such a small camera, it is good. You don't get it with a normal action camera like the DJI Action 4 or the Ace Pro. You're not getting any out of focus background with those because they're sort of focused to infinity, so it's not what they're about. They are sort of targeted at vloggers sometimes, but yeah, it just depends what kind of look you're going for. If you want that out of focus background, this is the camera to go for because it's got that f2.0. You get sort of a natural out of focus background bokeh. But it does look kind of, to me, kind of software enhanced bokeh. It's like something you'd get out of the iPhone rather than a nice Sigma lens or a nice G Master lens like the Sony one. It's not quite smooth. The bokeh always looks best when it sort of falls off the subject a little bit rather than just sort of giving the outline and then the background is blurry. It's got that sort of software-ish look to it. But it's still good. It's still better than an action camera like a GoPro, for instance. So yeah, you've got that 20mm equivalent for the normal lens. If you do want a wider lens for vlogging, which I would recommend, you will have to buy the wide angle lens, which is quite expensive. It's about £40 in the UK. For something like that, it's pretty steep, and it gives you 15mm, and that's probably the bare minimum for vlogging. If you're just holding this at arm's length, it gives you that 15mm field of view equivalent, and it is probably wide enough. Standalone without that lens, I don't think it is. It's probably a little bit too tight for vlogging. The thing I do like about it, if you are going to vlog, is it's light and portable. This thing is, I mean, I didn't actually research the weight, but it's not heavy. It's sort of action camera weight. It is portable to an extent. The one thing I will talk about that I don't like is this flipping case. I can never, no matter what I do, get it in there first time. I mean, there it is. It's not in there first time. I've just pressed it in. It's not even in the right way. So, that time it went in. Nice and flush. But it doesn't cover sort of the bottom of the camera for some reason. It doesn't cover it all. I just don't like it. There are other third-party ones on the horizon, I think. So hopefully we'll get some different accessories. Accessories are quite limited from third-party producers at the moment, third-party manufacturers. There are some about, and I'm going to talk about a couple in just a second. But this case I just do not like. So, I mean, it is portable. It is kind of portable. It is pocketable. You can fit it in your pocket because it's quite small. Just don't like that. The case, incidentally, has those little magnetic things inside to hold the lenses. That is fine. They do stand in there. The magnets are quite strong, so I've had no issues of them falling out. If you do purchase the black Pro Mist and the wide-angle lens, they sort of magnetise in there and they stay in there, so that's fine. The screen is only 700 nits. You might struggle in sort of bright sunlight. If you're out in sunny environments, you might struggle to be able to see the screen. That's where the first accessory I want to talk about comes in, and this is this cool little lens hood from BRDRC. This is only about £10 in the UK, but it sort of folds over like this onto the screen. Let me just show you quickly. So we open the screen up. This goes over there, and it velcros together, which is quite cool actually. I can't do it without seeing. There we go. So it velcros over the screen like that and gives you this sort of cool lens hood on the screen. For £10, I think that's worth it. You can't see that in the picture. If I double tap on there, hold it sort of out like that, you can't see it in the picture. Looks great. So yeah, that's a well worth accessory if you're doing a lot of shooting in bright sunlight. Just having that in your bag, it's really light and portable. It's going to take up no space whatsoever. So I do fully recommend that accessory. That is one of the things I do love about it. So that's the screen is something to think about. The video itself looks exceptional, and obviously the stabilization is very, very good. It's a mechanical gimbal, so it's not using any software to stabilize the footage, which is really nice. You don't get any sort of artifacts in the footage. I haven't seen any anyway. The colours are nice. It shoots 10-bit. You can shoot in an actual log footage, so you can colour grade it in post-production. So video-wise, for this size, it's probably one of the best cameras out there compared to something like, I mean, it hasn't really got any real competitors at the moment. You're looking at sort of GoPro, Insta360, DJI Action 4 as its main competitors. And as regards to those other cameras, this is the best video footage. Bigger sensor to start with, and then it's mechanically stabilized. You've got the log, you've got the 10-bit. It is very good. Even you've got that 4K 120 frames per second slow motion as well. Two more pros. The battery life I've been really impressed with. In fact, I've just never run out of battery. I have got the battery handle, which does help. It adds another like 20 minutes onto the record time, I think. But yeah, it's I've never run out. I've never had any issues with the battery. I've been using this quite a lot for different YouTube videos, going out and about, just recording bits and bobs, and I've never had any battery warnings. So the battery life is really good. And the microphone is the one accessory that I would really fully recommend. You can, of course, buy the Creator Combo when you get this microphone with it. That's what I did. This is a wireless mic 2 from DJI. It records 32-bit float internal audio. It connects via Bluetooth to the DJI Pocket 3 and the Action 4 if you've got that camera. And it's really, really good. I really love this microphone. I actually use this as like a standalone recorder to use with other cameras and sort of link it up in post-production. So it is that good. I love the way you can reposition yourself in the frame, and it sticks to that repositioning with the tracking. That's very clever. I want to be back in the center. Like that. Cool. So yeah, there's some really interesting features, great features about this camera. If you want to learn any more about it, there's plenty of videos on the internet, but I've linked some above that I've done. Going to be testing it out more against future cameras that are coming out, hopefully by the end of this year. Wait and see. Stick around, subscribe. There might be some new cameras coming. It's about £89. They do it in white and black, so that is one accessory I really would fully recommend. When you record audio with this camera, that's where it's got a real advantage, because it's got like 3 redundancies of backup when it comes to audio. You can record internally with this, so you've got that backup, and it saves inside. You've got 32 gigabytes inside of this for internal storage. It records via Bluetooth to the camera with this microphone, and then you can switch in the settings to actually record the camera microphone, inbuilt camera microphone, as well as this. So you've got like 3 backup audio sources to fall back on if one of these fails for some reason, or you don't hit record. You've got the internal recording and the inbuilt microphone. So that's another great thing about it, because, you know, there's nothing worse than getting back from filming a video and you haven't pressed record on your audio recorder, or you haven't got your microphone plugged in and there's a hiss, and it's just a nightmare. It has happened so many times over the last 5 years. The other accessory, if you want to get the best out of your video quality and really use that shutter speed rule, where your shutter speed is double your frame rate. So if you're shooting in 25 frames per second, your shutter speed wants to be 1/50th of a second to get that really nice motion, blur, that natural look to your footage. You are going to need ND filters, especially if you're shooting outside. And again, from BRDRC, these are some ND filters and polarizers mixed in one. ND8 all the way to ND64 there. So this is not sponsored by BRDC. They did send me these accessories because I've got this camera, but these were just supposed to be Amazon videos that I was supposed to be doing for them, but they're that good. I'll feature you and tell you about it because they are really great. They're available on Amazon. I will link them in the description. So that's all the good. Now, there are some other negatives about this camera, and it really depends on how you're going to be using it. That's the question I'd ask yourself first. What kind of scenario are you going to be using this camera in? What sort of environments are you going to be using this camera in? Is it going to be wet? Is it going to be rainy? Is it likely to get damaged with the activity that you're doing? Those are things you have to think of, because it's not the most rugged of device. I haven't had any issues yet, but there are sort of horror stories online where the screen has popped off. I think that might be due to people taking it out of the case, this stupid case, and squeezing the side and then pulling it out, and then subsequently pulling the screen off the bottom. I think that's how people have been doing it. It's not confirmed, that's just my theory, but I've had no issue. The screen is pretty solid in my eyes. It flicks around nicely. It's a really ingenious way of turning it on and off. I like that. But I still feel like it's a little bit fragile, even for me, for using it for YouTube, chucking it in the camera bag. Sometimes I'm out, I'm faffing about and trying to get gear out and set stuff up, and you can get knocked around. And I'm still just a bit wary about breaking this gimbal. But I've had no issues yet. I've had it 4-5 months nearly, and we've got no scratches, no scuffs or anything. I do look after my gear, but if you're somebody that is quite hard wearing on your camera, then this, you might want to think about that. It isn't weatherproof, so if you're going to be using this for anything other than fair weather vlogging, then you have to think about that as well. It's not waterproof, not weatherproof. I wouldn't be taking this out in the rain, and in the UK, it most likely can rain at any point of the year. At any point. So that's something I just have to bear in mind. It has to be a really nice day with no rain forecast whatsoever for me to take this out. So that's just something else to consider. The other thing is that the accessories, the official DJI accessories anyway, are pretty expensive. Like I mentioned, the lens is about £40. The Black Pro Mist lens was about the same price, £40. Pretty pricey for a little tiny bit of glass. The microphone standalone isn't too bad. It's about £89, and I think that's worth it if you're just buying this on its own. If you want to buy the kit, then you're talking £350, and that's when things get a little bit expensive. So, if you're buying the official DJI accessories, they are a little bit pricey. There's something you have to factor in, because you will want to accessorize and buy other things to get the best out of this camera. And the other one thing I have noted down on my notes here, that it does tend to overexpose by about 1.2 stops. I've found I have to sort of underexpose it, and you can do that. I underexpose the EV by about 1 stop to record video. There are some sort of settings and stuff you can dive into. You can shoot manual, obviously, for that shutter speed rule as well with the ND filter, so you can customize it. It is pretty customizable. There's a pro mode for both the video and the audio to get the exact look and sound out of this camera. So I mean, that isn't a real issue, but it does tend, in my sort of humble experience, to overexpose slightly. So it's just something to note. Overall, for say the camera that's in the personal recording category, I'd say it's probably top 2. I would choose probably for action sports the Ace Pro. Then I would use this for vlogging. The Ace Pro, because I just think the picture's the best for action sports. It's probably not the best camera for vlogging, because the close focus and distance is pretty far. You're not going to be in focus if you're sort of vlogging with it. But for action sports, it's the most rugged, and it's got some of the best features, and the apps are best and stuff. So that is a camera I'd sort of pick for those kind of scenarios. For filming yourself, for family days out, for vlogging, then I think I would pick the Pocket 3. It's a decent buy, but I would recommend picking up the Creator Combo so you get this microphone just to get the best out of it. It's really, really great, this microphone. I love it. So that is my genuine experience with using this for nearly 5 months now. It's a great camera. I fully recommend it. I think you won't be disappointed if you do buy it. The tracking as well, something I didn't note, is that it has that tracking where you can actually film yourself. So for like a solo YouTube film content creator, that can come in useful, because it can track you left and right, and you can walk around and the camera can follow you. So that is something else that I hadn't really thought about, but I do use on the odd occasion when I'm out and about recording myself. So yeah, that's it for this one. Hope it helped. If you've got any more questions, you want to know anything else, let me know in the comments down below. If you do want to purchase a DJI Pocket 3, there'll be an affiliate link in the description, and that helps this channel grow. If you do purchase for that link, but you don't have to, if there's any discount codes or anything I get off DJI, this is not sponsored, but if they do reach out at some point, I'll put that in the pinned comment later on down the line. But yeah, hope it helped. Let me know in the comments any other information, any of the questions. I'll be happy to try and answer all of them. That's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about this longer form content. I'm going to be doing more of these, hopefully. Sometimes it's just easier for me to sit in front of the camera and do a little bit of talking, a bit of creative therapy, if you like, for me as well, just to get some thoughts off my head. And it gives you the information that some of you have been asking over the last few videos or so as well. So what do you think of the Shure microphone, by the way? I've been using this Shure SM7B legendary microphone. I've got a video coming soon because I've been using the Rode Duo to record this internally, and I'll link them up in post. It's a really cool little setup, and I like doing this sort of talking podcast style audio. Let me know. See ya.